So after doing a solo run of Mega Charizard Y, obviously I had to do Mega Charizard X because I had to. And also I had a plan pretty much planned out before, so I really wanted to put it into action and see how fast I could do it. Now Mega Charizard X is significantly different from Charizard Y in that one, it's a fire and dragon type. Therefore, it's not weak to rock and electric, some of the biggest obstacles in the early game, and also late game as well for Charizard Y. And even though it gets a new ground weakness, it's not too big of a deal. And I guess if there's one main thing, it's also because that Charizard X is a physical attacker, while Charizard Y is a special attacker. However, in terms of raw power itself, Charizard Y definitely has XP since it has a drop boost, and it gets really good moves by level up and by simple TMs like Flamethrower and Solar Beam. So just with that, you can pretty much clear everything. But there are a couple obstacles in the way that does slow it down, and I was really excited to try out Charizard X because I learned some like new little strategies to help me boost my speed, and I put it to immediate use like a few days after the previous run. So now I'm really excited to talk about it. So the main thing in this run is at the start when you get to Route 104, basically where Briney's house is, there's a heart scale, and beforehand I actually did the research to try and figure out where it was. Just all you had to do is just go in front of the path of where the little boy is running in circles, and around the top left of where he's running is a heart scale. So that's very convenient, and having a heart scale is super important because Mega Charizard X, one of his best moves, probably his best move, is Dragon Claw, which is and with the heart scale, you can get that at after the third gym, which is kind of insane. It's kind of crazy to get his best move so early on. And also made use of Laveridge Town's Sword Dance, and the herb shop. There's an old man that also gives you a charcoal, which I didn't know before, and I knew for this run after doing little just running around. So you could also get something that boosts his fire move. So in addition to his Dragon Claw, you get a Fire Fang at level 28 that's boosted by charcoal. And so with that, along with boosted Tough Claws ability, Mega Charizard X just becomes an insane monster, and also with Sword Stance. And I guess so for Roxanne, that one wasn't too much of an issue. Well, at first I thought it was not gonna be much of an issue, but I knew it was gonna be better than Charizard Y. The main thing I had to do was taking out Geodude wasn't too much of an issue. Of course, you get hit by some rock tombs and it lowers your speed, but it's pretty much fine. However, Nosepass comes in and it reveals that Ember does not do much damage to it, and that obviously it out damages me. However, Charizard does start off with Growl and Smokescreen, but I don't trust my luck with accuracy, so I just use Growl to lower its attack so that it ends up doing like next to no damage using Rock Tomb, and I can easily out heal that using potions, and by doing that I can just easily chip it down with Ember. With that, Roxanne, one of the biggest hurdles for Charizard Y, was easily taken down. And once you get to Slateport City, you can also get the Power Punch TM, which is pretty nice for Charizard X since you get Tough Claws boost and it boosts its attack with each hit. So that's something that Charizard Y couldn't really do because Charizard Y was a special attacker. And you also get Bulldoze, but I don't even remember if I actually use much Bulldoze. Oh, and if there's also a huge thing, after the second gym, after beating Brawly, you meet up with Steven. He gives you the Steel Wing TM, and while I didn't use it too much, it's still kind of nice to have, because it's a pretty strong move. And also pretty sure gets a Tough Claws boost. I think Tough Claws is just anything with contact. So, and then for Watsing, it also wasn't a huge wall for Charizard X because it resists electric. While the paralysis is annoying, it really doesn't have too much effect on me as a whole, because it just doesn't do much damage, and eventually you can take it down without being threatened by their volt switches, which is something Charizard Y struggled with. And if you couldn't tell, just getting through these, like this early game much faster, put me on an insane pace to just completely dominate Charizard Y. I think we were around like 12 minutes ahead at this point. I can't remember. Or maybe actually even more. I think we were around 18 minutes ahead. And then so if there's any big parts, Norman, his Pokemon weren't to one-shots while Charizard Y was, but it wasn't too big of a deal. There wasn't any huge impact around mid to late game. It was like everything kind of wasn't much of an issue. If there was anything worth mentioning, it was actually right before Primal Kyogre, you had to fight Archie, and I guess I was playing kind of risky here, and I ended up living on 1 HP during the fight, which was huge because if I lost, it would have wasted me a couple minutes of time, and that would have been insanely bad. But I got lucky, lived on 1 HP, and kind of just went crazy. So we were just going on an insane pace. For Wallace, it also wasn't an issue whatsoever. Even though we didn't have any moves that hit him super effectively, you just set up a Sword Stance and then Dragon Claw just one-shots everything, like no exception. And the biggest reason why this was probably so fast is that it beat the champion, or beat the Elite Four and champion, without losing a single time. And that was huge because Charizard Y lost around like 4 or 5 times. It was an absolute mess, just because Drake was such an issue for it. But in this run, it's not a problem for Charizard X, unsurprisingly. You take out Sydney easily with 1 sword, since okay, actually Phoebe was an issue. I did lose once to Phoebe once or twice, actually. I don't even remember. All I know is that she wasn't easy. Mostly because her Dusclops, her starting Pokemon, did a combination of Confuse Ray, Curse, Future Sight, and that's a problem because Curse does 1/4 of my health every single turn, and Confuse Ray, I do more damage to myself the more attack I have, and I set up Thursdays on the first turn, so I get confused. It's not good. So the first time I just kept taking too much damage and hitting myself. It was just a mess. But after it was the 1 attempt where she went for Future Sight turn 1, it was no problem. Took out everything. Glacia, obviously no issue. There was nothing on her team that could really put much pressure on me. And then Drake was perfectly fine because he leads off with Altaria, which is not very offensively strong, and it goes for Kyangar turn 1 anyway, so we just get that easy Sword Stance and just sweep. And then for Steven, I was taking no chances since I learned from my Zard Y run. Set up +6 using X defense. If you think it's cheating, no, it's not. I just didn't feel like using it if I didn't have to, because it's a time waster if you don't if you just spend like 6 turns trying to set up to max. But yeah, steeping really was not an issue. 1 Sword Dance, and then play safe around the Skarmory. Well, there's not really anything to play safe. It's just you get hit by Toxic, so you just gotta make sure you're healthy before you move on to the next Pokemon. I think everything gets one shot other than Aggron, which has 30. But with +6 defense, Aggron is not really much of an issue. So with that, boom, 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 we got an insane time. Was it 1 hour 43 minutes and 14 seconds as compared to Charizard Y, which was around like 2 hours 30 something minutes, which is around like 50 minutes slower, or faster, sorry, which is kind of nuts because they're both Mega Charizards, so you would assume that their difference in time would not be that huge. But if there's any main factors that changed between this and that, well, for Charizard X, obviously was more experience. I understood completed the story of the game, like the paths to go, and then also I remembered where like the hard scale was, and then a lot of the main wall fights I was able to beat it try one without doing extra training. Was able to skillfully catch my HM slaves on the way, I guess on the path to my gym badge quest, so there was no sidetracking to do stuff other than getting Dragon Claw in the hard scale. But that was literally it, and I guess maybe buying some TMs and items, but literally nothing slowed us down. It was literally the perfect run, honestly, and I feel spoiled because I've literally used an insanely good Pokemon to do a solo run, and I've gotten this crazy ass time that I don't believe I will ever be able to like beat unless I use something even better, like Mega Lucario, Mega Mewtwo, what else is there? Maybe Mega Blaziken, I don't know. There's just so many good Pokemon, I guess, that could possibly beat this time, but I had to play out of my mind. I can no longer take it too easily, and after doing like, you know, my little research and stuff, planning, I realized Mega Venusaur, Mega Blastoise are probably not going to do well, especially Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise is going to be a hell of a mess. I'm not looking forward to that, but I have to do it anyways, since I've already committed to it. But as of recording this video, I'm actually planning on doing a Mega Venusaur solo run tonight, but hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was kind of meant to be a short video just explaining how the run kind of went. I did make a new channel specifically meant to post VODs, so if you want to go watch the VOD for that run, just follow the link in the description. Trust me, you won't regret it. It was a pretty neat run, and I'm very proud of myself for it. So enjoy, have a nice day, goodbye.